welcome to today's um, edition of Zcash's Education. On our assemblies, we will be talking about Zcash's mission and values, right? I believe that every ecosystem has, their mission. They have why they exist, and they have values that, helps them reach that goal that they're trying to achieve, that mission, right? So yeah, we are going to start from the very beginning, right? Zcash, like we know, is a cryptocurrency. So we're going to be talking about um cryptocurrency in general. So cryptocurrency existed to solve the problem, right? And like I think we mentioned earlier that for every invention that we've had like it always comes with some sort of issue, some sort of problem, right? And um Bitcoin was built to actually decentralize money, right? It aimed to like create like a financial system where people could own and transfer money without relying on the banks, any middlemen or anything or the government. Nobody was interfering. That was the whole, reason why we had Bitcoin in the first place. But now, things Bitcoin was able to solve that, right? We had a decentralized money that we were looking for, but we still had that problem of privacy, right? Even though that Bitcoin allowed people to be able to own their money literally, because I mean nobody could let's say freeze your Bitcoin wallet and prevent you from transferring funds out of it and all of that. You could send money to anyone and all that. But yeah, so it reduced that risk of a single authority blocking, your transactions, right? So even though we had that, we still had another problem, right? Like I've mentioned, we still had the privacy problem, and Zcash came. That became Zcash's mission, right? To build on the foundation that Bitcoin already had, and also while doing that, focus on giving people greater control over their money, right? Because for Zcash, we recognize that true economic freedom, requires financial privacy. You can't say that you're truly free if you still you can't say that you're truly free if there's still some sort of control over your money, in the sense that people can still see what you are doing with your money, and because they can see what you are doing with your money, they can um you know place some sort of maybe like a lien on stuff that you do outside of it. You already have, like you mentioned, how you have a target on your back, right? Just because people can see what you are doing with your money. Let's say you are trying to fund a cause, right? That's probably that people are seeing as a negative one. Like for every cause, like let's even talk about this Israel and Iran war, Palestine war rather. We have people that are on one side, some people are on the Israel side, some people are on Palestine side and all that. And because of that, imagine that you are on either of each side, right? You are trying to support this cause, right? But now you want to transfer funds normally. Let me say you want to use your traditional bank account to do this thing. By virtue of you making that transaction, supporting either of these two nations, right? You've already tied yourself to that cause, and people can react to you. Governments can react to that contribution that you've made, from a negative place. There are people that till tomorrow they are not allowed to enter a particular country just because of the transactions that they've made, because they supported a particular cause. They are not allowed to enter certain countries, right? And it shouldn't be so, right? So that this is just one of many instances where um, people's freedom are trampled upon because of their financial track record, because of what they've committed their money to, right? And that's one of them. Zcash, we believe that there's no freedom, right, without privacy, like without financial privacy. If everybody can see what you are doing and they can judge you because of what you are doing with money, right? Are you truly free? No, you are still going to try to play by the books. You're still going to try to do things that people are expecting you to do, that kind of thing. So Zcash just believes that you need true freedom, like true economic freedom, right? And you can only get that if your finances are private. on every front. And so Zcash mission is to like empower economic freedom through this financial privacy, and believe that people should be free to use their money without unnecessary surveillance. Whether they are earning the money, spending it, saving it, or donating it, you should be able to use your money anyhow you like. I mean, you earned it, right? You should be able to use it in any way that you like, right? Without anybody saying, "Oh, you are doing this." I'm sure many of us here, you would have experienced having transaction limits on your bank account. Why is anybody telling you how much you can transact per time, right? It's your money. You earned that money, and you should be able to spend it anyhow that you deem fit, right? You should be able to spend it anyhow that you deem fit. So that's the reason why that's one of Zcash's missions. Like, in fact, that's Zcash's mission, generally, to you know empower economic freedom through financial privacy. And there are values that actually guide Zcash as it pursues this mission. The first is financial privacy, followed by self sovereignty, choice, and open source development. So, financial privacy is like the ability to keep your financial information confidential and decide who can have access to it. And Zcash believes that protecting your financial information is a fundamental part of economic freedom. Like, there's no way you can say that you have, like, you are free, right, without actually being able to control access to your financial information. If I say I don't want anybody to know what I'm using my money for, it should be like that. I don't want anybody to know if giving a church 2 billion naira. I don't want anybody to know what I'm doing with my money, right? That's the only way that you can be truly free, right? I think if you remember this person's what's it called, Oba's submission during our very first commission, I was talking about how, because he was using his mom's phone, right, like his mom's bank account rather, to like collect funds and all of those things, it was limited to what he could actually do with those funds. Because I mean, his mom is going to get the debit alert, his mom is going to get the like transaction like history and all of those things. So yeah, um right. Okay, people cannot still hear me. Oh my god. So please, is it better in any way right now? Like, is it better in any way, guys?
Hear you. Perfect.
Yeah, favor. You remember Oba couldn't use his money. So that's just like a very good way to explain how this financial privacy thing actually works. Right. So self sovereignty means having ownership and control over your money, instead of depending entirely on other people to manage that money for you, right? So with Zcash, it's you and your money. Self sovereignty meaning that you are the one in charge of whatever is happening to your money. You download a wallet, a Zcash wallet. You are the owner of that wallet. It's not unlike the ones that you have with probably a centralized exchange and the rest. Here we preach self sovereignty. Your keys, you have your own private keys, your seed phrase, and all of that. So it is in your hands, right? So that's what self sovereignty is. And in Zcash, users are in control of both their funds and their financial privacy. Choice. So this means that you get to decide how much of your financial information you want to share, right? And Zcash reflects this principle by supporting both transparent and shielded transactions, allowing users to choose like the option that best fits their situation. We've talked about how there are sometimes maybe to you want to make a transaction public, right? You want to make a transparent transaction on the Zcash protocol, because you want people to be able to, like, you want to have like some sort of accountability. Let's say you are trying to like, you want your payment to actually have evidence, basically, so you can actually use transparent transactions, right, on the Zcash protocol. So same, also you have the shielded transactions. If you don't want anybody to know what you're doing with your money and all, you don't want any traces at all, that's why we have shielded transactions. So it's, the choice is yours. Zcash is not enforcing um Zcash is not enforcing this kind of all or none kind of rule when it comes to privacy, right? It's privacy by default, but it's also privacy by choice, right? On Zcash, we are not forcing you to shield everything if you don't want to, right? Even though we believe that it's best to shield everything, but if you don't want to, the choice is still yours, right? So open source development means that the software is publicly available for any and everybody to inspect, right, and to contribute to. And this openness, like, it encourages transparency, collaboration, and continuous improvement. Right now, we can see how um, I think we have about four corporations, 4 different engineering teams, separate teams working that on Ironwood. We have the ones that, like, we have we have Tachyon Group, we have the Vala Group, we have the Zcash Foundation, we have Zodo. So, like, it's because it's open source, right? I don't think that any other blockchain has this. Um Most blockchains is like, if you mention a particular blockchain, they have a team of engineers that are working on it, and all of them belong to that particular blockchain. I don't know how to explain this best, but look at Zcash. Zcash has like several teams, like, from different parts of the world, working on it constantly, right? And I think that that's like the best thing that can ever happen. I mean, there was a time that there was this bug bounty going on Zcash. Like, anybody anywhere can go through the codes, detect a bug, and get a price for it. It can only happen if it is open source, right? If it's not open source, nobody would be able to, like, see the code, or maybe be able to detect these bugs or whatever it might be, right? So because it's open source, everybody, even I myself, I can decide to go through it, but I don't know anything about codes, but yeah, that's just how open it is, right? And because it's open, everybody is transparent, that everybody can see what's happening. There's nothing like, oh, this so and so thing happened and nobody can talk about it, or nobody knows about it. It's right there. There's evidence there for you to see what is really happening, on the chain, right? So basically, the key takeaway from this class is for us to understand that Zcash is building a financial system where people have greater economic freedom, right? And financial privacy, self sovereignty, choice, and open source development are the principles that actually make, this um, mission of economic freedom possible, right? And honestly, I feel you can only get this on the Zcash protocol. You can I don't think there's any other place where you can get this. Honestly, there's no place else. So I guess we're lucky to be here. We'll be rounding up here for today, so that we don't take a lot of our time. But we have, as always, we have a challenge for us today, which is it's just a simple question. Privacy is the goal of Zcash. Yes or no? And if you have to give us like a reason for your answer, right? Um We could also submit this on Twitter and tag us to it, or you can answer in the chats. I don't know. Do we have enough time today? Do we have enough time to have this discussion today? Do we have enough time? I think we have enough time. We can dedicate 10 minutes to this discussion. Feel free to unmute your mic. Feel free to type in the chats and, like, tell us the reason for your answer. So, is privacy the actual goal of Zcash? Do you agree with this? Why or why not?